As we discussed at the top of the hour, a divided Supreme Court cleared the way Monday for Border Patrol agents to cut razor wire installed by Texas officials along the banks of the Rio Grande River, originally placed there to discourage illegals from flooding into the country. Some illegals have been hurt by the sharp wire. That's why it's razor wire. And the Department of Justice argues the barriers impede the federal government's ability to patrol the border and aid migrants if need be. 5-4 vote considered a victory for the Biden administration because it is. It's proven itself to be America's last inept at stopping this invasion across the border, no question. Joining me live now to discuss this, endorsed by Ted Cruz and a proven fighter for America First Values, Texas State Representative Steve Toth. Steve, nice to see you today.
Blessings, Steve. Great to see you, brother.
So Chief Justice John Roberts, he didn't surprise me, but Amy Coney Barrett did. I mean, I get that those on the left, on the court are going to go with ideology. But look, I can go to Article 4, Section 4 of the United States Constitution. Invasions are constitutionally illegal. You don't have to look very far. They're constitutionally illegal. What Texas was doing was defending itself, and the Supreme Court says you don't have a right to do that. What say you?
Article 1, Section 10, Clause 3 says we do. And if there's ever any doubt about how much politics and the mainstream media has influenced the courts, this is it. If a couple people had not drowned a couple weeks ago in the Rio Grande, I think this decision would have gone the other way. It would have been 6-3. But this tells you how absolutely these courts can be, in these decisions, can be swayed by popular opinion. It's pathetic. Look, we lost a guardsman, Texas guardsman, a 22-year-old Texas guardsman. Bishop Evans went into the Rio Grande over a year ago trying to pull out two people that were struggling to get across. And the poor guy lost his life. He drowned. This is who Texas is. And those guys, by the way,
to me, it also propels the Texas movement. No, and I understand all that, but I want to read for the folks that aren't clear on this section of the Constitution, Article 4, Section 4. You tell me if this is ambiguous. The United States shall guarantee to every state in this union a republican form of government and shall protect each of them against invasion. It's my handy pocket Constitution from Hillsdale. Look, what's ambiguous about that?
There's nothing ambiguous about it. In Article 1, Section 10, Clause 3 says in the event that there's imminent danger. Steve, when you interdict enough fentanyl to kill every man, woman, and child every couple months coming across the border, when you stop or catch 300 young Middle Eastern men that are on the terrorist watch list, they're not here to make beds and cut lawns, baby. They're here to do us harm. They're here to wreak havoc. They're evil. And they're here to kill us. And the reality is that we've got to have that kind of attitude and close this damn border. And it may mean a constitutional crisis with the federal government. I stand with Governor Abbott as he says that we're not going to abide by this.
In fairness, Steve, don't we already have a constitutional crisis? And I want to extend that comment you just made a little bit. Here in the state of Michigan, where I live, southeast Michigan, a group of 80 gang members from the nation of Chile came across the southern border. And over the past few weeks, they have been sophisticatedly targeting high-end homes in affluent areas of southeast Michigan, taking televisions and cash and gold and jewelry, whatever they could. They had jammers for the security systems. They had jammers for the cell phones. This was a sophisticated, organized operation of illegals that came in to fleece and rob. And who knows what happens if they get caught? It turns to violence. This is what we're dealing with in America, and that's just one small example. Right?
Yeah, but it's going to be far worse than that. Yes, I get that there are some organized crime rings, but tell me, why would a Middle Eastern man pay thousands of dollars to come from the Middle East to Mexico City and then pay the cartel thousands of dollars to come across the border? Unless they are working on some kind of dastardly, evil plan to hit us the same way they hit us on 9/11, Steve. This is not going to end well. It's not. Thousands of people are going to die. This is not going to end well. We're going to have to wake up now and tell the federal government to pack sand. We're not gonna follow them.
Well, how are you going to get it done? Okay, you've got the Supreme Court decision. What is happening? What is the latest there at the park in Eagle Pass? What's happening there? Give us an update of what you know.
At this point, nothing has happened. Nothing has changed. But at some point, they're going to press for entrance into that area. And here's the crazy thing, Steve. 99% of the border is open. 99% is wide open. This one little area, that wasn't acceptable, that we had one area where we were stopping them. That wasn't acceptable to the Biden administration. And so, yeah, this is going to be a real problem. And what we're going to be encouraging the governor to do is to interpose and nullify, to stand between the federal government and the people of Texas, the good people, law-abiding people of Texas, and say, we're going to close the border. We don't care what you think. That's what needs to happen. And if it creates a constitutional crisis, so be it. But it's a whole lot better than what Hamas did in Israel back in October.
Yeah. Ken Paxton, the Attorney General of the state of Texas, appears to be signaling that he is not going to cave in to the Supreme Court. He's not going to cave into this decision based on the constitutional principles involved here. So we could have a constitutional crisis. We'll see what happens. Steve, I'll give you the last word.
This is not just a Texas issue. These people are not coming across the border to hurt Texas. They're coming across the border to hurt America. It doesn't matter if you're a Republican or a Democrat. It doesn't matter if you're a liberal or conservative. They're here to hurt all of us and destroy our way of life. Wake up.
Steve Toth, State Representative, State of Texas. Greatly appreciate it. Keep the faith, my friends, and remain steadfast. You have no other choice. And thank you for being here.
God bless you, Steve.
God bless you. Don't forget, the Real America's Voice, by the way, will have wall-to-wall live coverage of all the New Hampshire primary results starting tonight at 6 o'clock Eastern Time. Special coverage right here on Real America's Voice. You don't want to miss any of it. Now, coming up after the break, voters casting their ballots on this election day in New Hampshire, and one iconic opponent of Donald Trump, now a supporter. We'll take a look at who that is when we come back. Don't go anywhere.